amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed.
Tonight, I'm being joined by one of the senators whose state is also affected by these issues. Senator Sani Musa, a member of the National Assembly in the Senate, representing Niger State. He joins us live here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, distinguished Senator, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sheung.
Perhaps if I say, if I ask you if you're worried, that might be, trying to state the obvious, isn't it? If you're concerned, that might be stating what is definitely giving a lot of Nigerians some chills. But the big question is, what is causing this infiltration? These guys are moving south. What is happening?
Thank you, Sheung, and good evening, the viewers. I think the issue of security, when you said is disturbing, is an understatement. Nigeria is a country that is evolving. We have never seen it like this since after the Civil War, I believed. We used to have an armed forces that is reckoned. They fought wars in other countries in order to bring peace to those countries. But today, the whole thing is different. My constituency, that I will say is close to the Federal Capital Territory, because 3 of my local governments under my senatorial districts share the same border with the Federal Capital. I can tell you that it's very worrisome. The situation in the beginning of this year is worsening. And all the proactive measures that I thought will bring a kind of succor is not working. In the National Assembly, we have made several attempts at finding a lasting solution to this problem by setting up security committees, holding a retreat with service chiefs and others in order to find a way out, but it has become very difficult. So the situation is not just alarming. The country is at crossroads. Politics aside, life and blood that we are splitting today, we need to call ourselves, especially we the leaders, we need to question ourselves. It's not about party, and it's not about election coming. It's about the life of our constituents. It's about the life of Nigerians. Splitting one single life is like killing the nation.
Now, Senator, asking what is going on is asking you to give us an understanding, because you have a first-hand information, you have a first-hand experience, because your members of your constituent are directly impacted. People are being killed also in your senatorial district. Yeah. And so that's why I said, what exactly is happening? You are in the National Assembly. And the question again that I'd like to ask, or probably go back to what is happening, is who are these elements? If you understand who they are, maybe we can then start understanding how to deal with them. Who are these terrorists?
Mr. Sheung, if you recall, last year or early this year, my governor cried loud that there is an infiltration of Boko Haram terrorists creating cells within Niger State. The same Bukati that you've shown now had also raised that alarm. I had a meeting with Bukati in London, where he gave me certain facts about the activities of Boko Haram within the north-central Nigeria with the Ansarus. And he clearly told me that that intelligence had been shared. What proactive action has the NSA done? We will have to call a spade a spade. If I am the NSA, National Security Advisor in this country, I would tender my resignation because I have failed. I have failed.
What do you think you needed to have done that he's not doing?
When they are creating cells, you do not wait until when you are attacked, then you act. This intelligence that is being shared is an information, pre-information given to you at a stage where these culprits have not concluded their motives, their plans, and you neutralize them. Is it what is happening? So, for me, I believe that we need to re-strategize. We need to look at our demographics. If you go to Niger State today, you will see that a lot of IDPs are there. People have left their villages. Why? Because these people have taken over these villages. When we are talking about these cells, they are real. They are no jokes. The Emir of Kagara came to me on Thursday here in Abuja and said we need to be rescued. We had information over 500 of these bandits have been seen traveling from Andume towards our area. What do we do about it? And I asked him, have you shared this information to all those that are concerned to hear? They did. My own assignment here as a senator is to make the noise, is to put all those acts of appropriation that will make it work. And I believe we're doing it. So what I think we need to do is to go back to the drawing board. It's not too late.
So we would like you to define what that drawing board is. But you mentioned something that a lot of Nigerians are quite worried about. You talked about the NSA. And you said if you were the NSA, you would have resigned. Now, you also said there are a lot of intelligence being collated. What is being done with the intelligence? For example, Senator, the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, was quoted to have said that he met with the president and that he was being interviewed on an Hausa program in Kaduna where he said he was the one who informed President Buhari that the terrorists wanted to kidnap himself and the president, and that the president up to that point was not aware. I mean, for that kind of information, do you think the intelligence didn't capture it because the video was everywhere? And what is happening to intelligence? What do you think is happening at that level?
If that is true, but first let me say it, intelligence is being shared not only by one agency to those that's supposed to look at the security of this country. As a state governor, you are giving intelligence, you are giving information every day of the security situation in your state. There's something like the local government chairman collects that. The president also, I can tell you, receives security reports every day. And if the president, if it is true, going by the saying of Governor El-Rufai, that the president was not aware, that singular act is enough for the NSA to be booted out. A country is bleeding, and you tell me that as the headman to strategize how our security should be functioning, you are not aware of this, and the president cannot be informed? It's self-indicting. Mr. Shehu, we are in a country, if you recall, during the Maitasine riot, the police went in, the mobile policemen went in. It was so difficult. How many battalions were taken to Kano to take care of that situation? Are you telling me that those days they have more intelligence than we do now? Are you telling me that they have more equipment, more sophisticated equipment then than now?
So what then is wrong?
Are you telling me that we do not have technology that will help in the intelligence?
Because if you look at budgeting and funding to the military or to defense, it's higher in the last 5 or 6 budget cycles than it has been in the last 50 years in this country.
What is the use of geophysics when you're talking about
what is going
security?
on? What exactly is happening? Why has things fallen flat on its face? When you talk about drawing board, where is the drawing board? At what point is the drawing board?
I think the situation is that the leadership, the security agencies, the armed forces, either they have lost that moral ground to stand and said, we can't do better, or something is really going wrong. On social media today, you will see videos that are being posted. I cannot verify if they are true servicemen or they are imposters, but the message they usually send from those videos that we have seen are from the combat grounds, where they are talking about lack of enough equipment, lack of enough armaments to be able to face this. I cannot imagine a brigade of guards will be attacked.
And the word the NSA used there was that they were decimated. They were ambushed
after the attack. The attack shouldn't have even taken place. It shouldn't have taken place.
It's a failure of intelligence, is it?
The failure of intelligence, and then who supposed to gather the intelligence? When I'm saying we should be proactive, we should be proactive. And I can show you that we have a very strong military, one of the best in Africa. What is happening? In terms of appropriation, we have done all the needful.
What about releases? Is something to budget?
You heard what the Minister of Finance have said. Nothing has been withheld. All that have been appropriated have been released. You heard what somebody was saying here on your channel's TV. Why the dollar was skyrocketing. Who are the people changing the dollars? You heard it. We must tell the truth. We must say the truth. My people are being killed every day. God will ask me if I'm not able to stand to say it the way it is.
So, if you look at the infiltration around the North Central State, reported there that some of these guys have infiltrated and built cells around these areas. How difficult is it to dislodge these cells?
My Shegun, is it that we don't have surveillance? We don't have area surveillance? If we don't have area surveillance, don't we have technology through Google that we can get to the spot of everything? Can you recall when some Americans were kidnapped from the border town in Niger Republic and they were taken into Nigeria? Could you recall that it is the same Nigerian security that provided the United States with the intelligence when the Marines came and recaptured their people back from these kidnappers? Take their people back? Is it not Nigerian security that gave them the same intelligence? Is it not Nigerian security that is mining the same bush, the same forest, that ransom is being taken to these people? What are we talking about? In Niger State, Shiroro local government in particular, over 48 people were killed. And they are all security men. Soldiers, policemen, civil defense, and even the DSS guys were killed. And before that attack, there was intelligence reports. And when these people were coming, they came in numbers. And they are riding on motorcycles. Today with technology, anywhere you are, the moment that coordinates can be identified. And how do we identify those coordinates? We know the village that this thing happens. Around the arena ward in United States. You can use technology to cover the whole area and you get the exact spots. And after all, we even knew where this thing happened. is a site where mining has been taking place. Are you telling me that intelligence has not been shared on that? When we want to talk about security in this country, I think we should come back and be honest with ourselves. I'm not saying that the government is not doing very well, but those that the government have put in to do it well are not doing it well.
Well, would you say the government is doing very well? When
I'm telling you that the government is doing well, is that the government, you make a budget proposal to government that this is the way you feel you are going to tackle this situation, and you give it in terms of naira and kobo, in terms of getting these equipments. We have bought Tucanos. Till today, I've not heard anyone pressing that Tucano has done anything in this country.
They say it's being used in the northeast, and the agreement being signed.
Let me tell you why today.
That's what we get from the military.
Let me tell you why we are having issues with security. I will tell you. Have we fired any of the commanders? Have we tried to investigate anything that is happening? I know there are two things about life. There is no midway. It's either life or death. There is no midway about that. Which one are we going to take as a path to our destiny? Are we going to remain silent and the worst happens? I am here as a Nigerian. I am voted under the party APC. Before APC, there was a government. Are we going to continue the way we are every time we say, okay, this has failed? No. As a nation, we must all come together. We must re-strategize. We must solidify our borders. Our borders are very porous. I cannot remember how countless times that our prisons have been attacked. Have you had anyone been sanctioned? Nobody has been sanctioned. On Thursday, I had a meeting with my constituents. On their way back, these attacks were happening and they could not cross. How do you feel about that?
Now, if you look at all what you're saying, the one we imagine, maybe, just maybe, these terrorists are being heavily bombarded in the northeast and they're flowing down south. And we understand that they are also recruiting, these terrorists are recruiting in the numbers. Why? Maybe it's psychological, maybe it's sociological. What factors do you think is responsible for the rising numbers of these terrorist groups?
Yeah, because I think I don't want to be indicting myself, but I will tell you, it's leadership failure.
At what level?
At every strata. At every strata. And what we need to do in this country, we need to have leadership reorientation. Our self-attitudes to certain things today have changed. We need to change. The glory of this country can only be regained if all of us will reorient ourselves and believe that we do not have any other country but Nigeria. We need good governance. We need direction. And I can tell you, it's not APC. It's not PDP. It's not Labour or YP. We are talking about Nigeria in context. Our military today, I can tell you, have shown Nigerians that they are overwhelmed. And if the military will show that they are overwhelmed, What motivation will that also give to those terrorists? It will ginger them.
Your colleagues have given the president an ultimatum. If you were the president, what would you be doing? I mean, in the frame of the ultimatum given?
I think the president need to be very decisive. He needs to be very, very decisive. There are no two ways. There are a lot of Nigerians in the military that are committed to seeing lasting solution to this problem in this country. They know them. They can identify them. Give them the opportunity. We have core military officers that have gone to other countries where rebellion, serious war has been taking place, and they conquered. Give them that opportunity to make an input to see how we can change the architecture of this security in this country. If it is difficult, are we not making ourselves more vulnerable if we cannot look at those countries that have expertise in handling these situations to come to our aid? The aid can come in different ways. The aid can come in training and retraining of our personnel to meet the exigencies of this present security situations.
Will the possibility of hiring international contractors, military contractors to help, popularly called mercenaries, would that work?
I'm not of the view of hiring mercenaries, because everything like this has its own advantages and disadvantages. But what I said is that there are countries that have passed through this most difficult terrorist situation, and they've been able to overcome them. Though they didn't do it overnight, there are methods and stages they have put in down that guided them to reaching some kind of stability. Why won't we, at this stage, try to get those experts to come in and give us all that support necessary so that we can stem this situation before it gets so worst? This thing, you said it, is moving towards south. Are we going to remain like this until when all of us are consumed? So I believe there is need for us to completely reorganize the armed forces, train and retrain. We need to work on their welfare. We need to also find ways that we can motivate them. We shouldn't be waiting to repel attacks. We should be seen to do what the Americans did. They went to the doorsteps of terrorists. Today, with technology, you can use drones. With technology, you can find, using coordinates, you can reach everywhere.
Do you see any possibility of external influence in the kind of security challenges that we're facing?
I cannot rule it out. Because if these people will still be having the kind of ammunition they're having, the kind of firepower they have, which of course some of our military personnel are even complaining that their own equipments are more superior than their own. So that means somebody is aiding. And this is where our Nigerian intelligence agency need to do more. And I believe they are doing it. It's only that maybe certain actions are not being taken. I read it where they said there were almost about 44 security or intelligence reports over the Kuje incident. What proactive thing have we done? These people are not coming through our airspace. They are coming with motorcycles.
On a final note, Senator, we look at this problem and it's beyond some states, because it does look like this ragtag element, they move from one place to the other. And if you listen to some of the military officers, they will tell you one of the elements or things that make it difficult to find these guys is because you may not find them in the exact position where they were yesterday, because they are mobile, they move, and it's difficult because also they embed themselves within the local community. And the NSA was saying if they had gotten information earlier from the locals about some of these elements, maybe they'll be able to repel or stop the attack. Going forward, there are a lot of people who are out there and they're worried, they're concerned, there's palpable fear. Because the last time we had a situation where people have been asked to leave school or to leave their stairs in a particular place is because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is another pandemic on our hands. Where do we go from here? On a final note.
Sheol, as long as we are going to operate the way we're operating, these terrorists will continue to have their way. When you are talking about intelligence disseminating, we have security agencies in every local government. And most of these wards that have been attacked are wards that people habitate. There are habitants there. And they complain, they call. Days before even some of the attacks. And if these people are moving from one point to the other, are you telling me that the communities around those areas do not know? They do. Are you telling me that they don't communicate? They communicate because they want their lives to be saved. We must hold some people responsible. I am here talking today. I knew what my people are going through. A lot of my people are agrarian people. They're supposed to be in the farm now. They are not. Is that not another problem? And whoever tells you the issue of security can be played, you can politicize it.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We'll kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.